540 WAUK, Milwaukee's real news and great conversation. And now on your FM dial at 100.3. Here's your Daily News Roundup.
With local news on 540 WAUK on 100.3 FM, I'm Stuart J. Waddles. Milwaukee area beaches are under a hazard alert. Rough water is expected to continue into this afternoon. Forecasters say waves could build to 4 to 7 feet with rip currents. That means swimming could be dangerous or even life-threatening. Officials for now are urging people to stay out of the lake. No one is injured after a fire on the roof of a meta facility under construction in Beaver Dam. The fire department there said the first was reported at just before 5:40 Sunday night after black smoke was seen coming from the roof. Firefighters saw the smoke and immediately went up to it after arriving. Crews found a small amount of flames coming from a pile of discarded roofing materials. No other parts of the building were impacted as a result. 3 area mayors are lining up behind Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley for governor as endorsements continue to build. Waukesha, Wauwatosa, and Sheboygan mayors say Crowley has a track record of balancing budgets, cutting taxes, and working across party lines. The move adds to earlier support from Governor Tony Evers and a major labor union. It's all news all morning from 540 WAUK on 100.3 FM. The fallout over flock technology is spreading in Racine County, with prosecutors now looking at multiple officers and 2 cases already closed without charges. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reports that District Attorney Patricia Hansen says one investigator used the system in a situation where someone feared harm, and another officer searched for his own car during a dispute. She says neither case rose to the level of a crime. 2 other reviews are still active. The scrutiny comes after recent Milwaukee cases where police officers have also faced criminal charges over alleged misuse of the same license plate reader system. Waukesha County is the wealthiest county in the Badger State. That's according to a ranking compiled by financial tech company Smart Asset. They looked at items like investment income, property value, and median income. Waukesha led the way in Wisconsin overall and was also on top for median income and median home value. Rounding out the top 5 were Ozaukee, St. Croix, Washington, and Dane counties. And that's the local update. It's all news all morning, 6 to 9 on 540 WAUK on 100.3 FM. News anytime at WAUKradio.com. I'm Stuart J. Waddles.
For Civic Media News, I'm Connie Fellman. Investigators say they've uncovered possible evidence that breathes new life into a decades-old cold case in Fond du Lac County. 5-year-old Bobby Joe Fritz disappeared from his Campbellsport home in the spring of 1983. Now, investigators are digging into that home's basement with the help of the state crime lab. Fond du Lac County detectives served a search warrant last week at the house where Bobby Joe lived when he disappeared. Investigators say during that search they found what they describe as potential evidence. Fond du Lac County Sheriff Ryan Walschmidt says the agency remains committed to working unsolved crimes, including Bobby Joe's. He says this is an active investigation, and they will release more information only when it will not jeopardize the investigation. Anyone with information is asked to call the Fond du Lac County tip line. 3 years ago, on the 40th anniversary of Bobby Joe's disappearance, his older sisters said both their parents have since died without ever knowing what happened to their little boy. Wisconsin Democrats are asking state election officials to pull back new guidance on absentee ballots, saying it could affect how people vote in the primary. The Wisconsin Elections Commission told clerks not to let voters spoil and recast a ballot, something Democratic Party Chair Devin Ramaker says used to be allowed. He argues the change followed lawsuits from Republicans and was issued improperly. Democrats warn that without a reversal, some voters may not be able to fully take part in the primary. The Elections Commission has not yet announced whether it will revisit the guidance. Wisconsin is taking a step to ease its nursing shortage by allowing more registered nurses to teach students in clinical settings. Governor Tony Evers approved an emergency rule that expands who can serve as nursing instructors. Qualified RNs with the right experience and training can now help teach, even if they don't yet have a master's degree. State leaders say the change should help schools train more nurses and get them into the workforce faster. A dog that had been shot at least 8 times and was found in Shawano County last week with a broken leg and broken ribs is on a long road to recovery. Shawano County Humane Society workers posted an update on social media yesterday about the dog now named Sunny. They say Sunny is in stable condition, but veterinarians found another gunshot wound and several broken ribs after further examinations. If he can hang in there, Sunny is expected to undergo surgery in the next couple days. Right now, animal workers say the focus is on keeping him comfortable and giving him every chance to heal. Someone found the brown mixed-breed dog in the town of Maple Grove. Shawano County Sheriff's deputies say they're investigating how Sonny was injured. They say the approximately 8-year-old dog has a microchip registered to someone out of state. Shawano County Humane Society workers say they have received an outpouring of support from people all around, wanting to help make sure this underdog gets a second chance at a happy life. Federal officials will be in Sauk County next week for disaster assistance. The Federal Emergency Management Agency and Small Business Administration will set up shop at Baraboo City Hall for in-person help with filing claims following recent severe storms and flooding. The assistance will be available every day next week between 8 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon. Officials say residents should file claims with their insurance provider before coming to City Hall. The Wisconsin Elections Commission is warning voters that betting on an election could put their ballot at risk. The agency says state law bars anyone who has a wager on an election from voting in that same race, and officials say that could lead to a challenged ballot or even felony charges. The warning comes as prediction markets keep growing, and the issue has drawn new attention in Wisconsin. Governor Tony Evers has also taken steps to limit the use of non-public information in prediction markets by state employees. And that's your state news update. I'm Connie Fellman for Civic Media News.
The Brewers battle the Mets. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports, where the Brewers and Mets are going at it today to win this 3-game series at American Family Field in Milwaukee. The Mets shut out the Brewers last night 4-0 thanks to a good performance by New York rookie Zach Thornton, who's now thrown 18 scoreless innings in a row. The Brewers' Brandon Sproat, after losing to his former teammate.
That's what Thornton does. That's what he's done his whole career so far. I know him pretty well. He's a super just crafty lefty.
In golf, round 3 of the Wisconsin Amateur Championship today, Garrett Schultz of Oconomowoc atop the leaderboard, tied with Brandon Clutie, originally from South Africa, who talked about the crew at the West Bend Country Club.
They're so good at setting the course up. The number that you have to hit has to be just so precise, and you have to hit it perfectly to get the right spin to make it sure that it stops. I think you're going to see a lot of dispersion between just an average round and a good round.
That's golfer Brandon Clutie with Sports. I'm Mike Clemens.
It is going to be sunny and comfortable today. Our high in the low to mid 70s this afternoon. Tonight, mostly clear. We are going to drop into the 50s tomorrow. Mostly sunny with a high in the upper 70s to near 80. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable.
That's your Milwaukee News Roundup from WAUK. Find more news anytime at waukradio.com/news. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts.